All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our healthy happy hour. This is our second one. I'm Raina, holistic health coach, here with my awesome co-host, Joelle, certified personal
Hi,
trainer.
what's up?
Yes. So if you're tuning into this again, we have divided this up into 3 parts, talking about nutrition, mindfulness, and stress management, and then usually exercise at the end. We'll either be doing an exercise or talking about, some type of movement tip for you. Do you want to add anything, Joelle?
No, that sounds good. I'm excited.
Okay, yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, so last week we touched on creating, we can just dive into the nutrition piece. Like we touched on creating snack packs. Joelle gave us an awesome demo of, what a healthy quote unquote lunchable could look like.
Yes, I have more today too.
Ooh, do you? Okay,
Yes.
I'll let you go and share.
Okay, so I love these glass containers. They have 3 compartments because then I can keep my planning simple, but still have variety, right? So the 2 smaller ones, I always go vegetables and fruit. Sky's the limit. Whatever kind of vegetables or fruit I want, or whatever I have, I just try and make it like colorful because for me, that gets me excited to eat it. And then in the bigger part here, I either put leftovers or some sort of protein and carb factor. Today, it's a pasta salad that I made, and it's a brown rice and quinoa pasta. Lots of vegetables, some fats too, healthy ones, artichoke hearts, sun-dried tomatoes, and then there was like cucumbers, and I added black beans, which doesn't really match the theme, but I'm kind of a sky is the limit girl when it comes to making meals too. I'm like, I like these ingredients. Don't care if they go together. If they taste good, they go together. So I just do it like this any day. I can bake several at a time. They last. I have had like bell peppers will kind of make the fruit taste like bell peppers a little bit if you do them several days in advance. But again, I'm not picky as long as I'm excited to eat it. And when I see all these colors in the pretty glass container, for me, that gets me excited. So you got to find what gets you excited. And for me too, lunch, that's why I like to focus on the snack packs, is lunch is the hardest one. There's something about the middle of the day where, especially if you work from home or you own your own business, you're like, I'm gonna skip over this one. We'll catch up later, right? I'm mid work. I don't have the time to stop. So I found that I make time to stop if I have things that are snackable, The pasta salad does require a fork. Some days it's like just meat and cheese right there. Other days it's, half a sandwich. It's whatever I feel like is quick and easy when I'm making them. And then as long as it's visually appealing and tastes good, I find that I enjoy eating it. So hummus or tzatziki on the side is my thing. And that's what works for me. So you have to find what's my hardest meal. Don't try and take your whole diet all at once, right? We have that all or nothing mindset, and that definitely gets us into trouble. So instead, pick a meal that you think could use the most work for you. You're like, man, breakfast is so hard. Okay, focus on just breakfast first and start small. Maybe it's I don't have an appetite in the morning, so half a banana or a handful of nuts, it's as far as I can go. That's cool. Just build on that, right? Keep it that once you feel like, wow, it's not so hard. I don't have to struggle to remember. I'm like, oh, it's morning time. I have my half a banana. Now it's time to level up. Okay. And that's how we build sustainable habits. We can do this in any area of our life, but nutrition is no exception. Don't try it all or nothing it, right? I think that I'm sure you see this all the time too, Raina. People, if I don't do it perfect, then I sucked. So I have to give up for the day or the week. I used to joke that a French fry could throw my whole week. And I did feel that way, that I was that type of girl. Like I had a French fry. Now it's not a win. So I'm going to go off the deep end for the rest of the day or week or whatever. And that just causes, obviously, on the physical front end, that binge back and forth is not going to be good for your body because there's not consistency in it. But it also doesn't help your mindset around your food and your fuel and what you're doing for your body when you choose what you eat.
Yeah. I would totally agree with you, Joelle, and I do see that a lot, and I've personally experienced it as well. And
Yeah, we're not
I like
immune.
what?
So we're not immune at all.
No, not at all. Like we're freaking human
Mm-hmm.
for sure. But I always like to think too, asking myself, because I used to be in that all or nothing mindset, and then I've shifted it to, okay, like I had the French fry or I had the brownie earlier in the day. What's the next best thing I can do at like my next eating time? You know, I don't have to like throw the whole day. Like maybe I'm gonna have a healthier dinner or a healthier snack option. It again, just chunking it down and like giving yourself grace in those moments. And when you have a second, maybe just even reflect on like, why did you have that? If it wasn't like within, you know, how you want to be eating, were you eating it like out of convenience, or maybe it was an emotional thing, or like stress, or you know, you were in a food emergency and it was the only thing available. So like also identifying too what kind of triggered you to get off track, but like being compassionate about it and not judging yourself for it, just being like, oh, it's because I didn't have anything on hand. And I've been in that situation.
Totally.
So
I feel like that convenience is probably the biggest problem that I hear, no matter what the person is telling me the result in my mind. The convenience is the biggest one we hear the most often. And it's because so many less than awesome options have been made convenient. So, I mean, just over time, we'd get into these bad habits. It's not even that it tastes good or that it's amazing, makes us feel some positive outcome. It's fast, and I passed by 3 of them on the way here. So why not, right? And so that's the healthier choices are always going to take a little bit more time. But something to add to what you just said, there are times that you ate something that wasn't the best choice, and it still was what you needed, right? Like, don't forget that our highest self does not restrict all the time. If you think about, because that's something that helps me instead of living for now, is what's that better's the wrong word. The higher version of me, what does she eat like? How does she fuel her body? And she doesn't restrict 100% of the time to, well, I eat this small a window. She does eat for pleasure too. So don't forget that, like, the brownie could have just been, yeah, I wanted it and it was good. Next. I don't need another one because I already had that great experience. And that's something too, not restricting yourself that way. Making a shake that tastes like peanut butter and chocolate and banana can still be really good for you. And so we have ways around it, right? So that we're not looking at our nutrition as this pass or fail situation.
Yeah, that's spot on. Or as like a burden or just something like, how can you make it fun?
I have to versus I get to.
Can you recap real quick? Because Trish wasn't here. Like, what is your healthy snack pack? Like, what's in each of those?
Sure, yeah. So I do fruits, vegetables, and then some carbs and protein. Oftentimes, if I made something the night before that will suit there and sounds good to me again, it's like the leftover spot. But I've even like just cut up meat and cheese and then thrown another couple of veggies in there, or a boiled egg, maybe some nuts, anything that's just going to kind of change it up and keep it as snackable as possible. For me, that's a big factor that I can say, and this isn't the best practice, but we're leveling up, right? So most like best practice is to sit down with your meal and enjoy it and not have distractions, so that you are like being present with your food and your fuel. It's going to definitely keep you mindful, right? They go together. But for me, when the meal that I'd rather skip, telling me to sit down and hold still for a while instead is going to really take it off the menu, right? So I have to have something snackable. And if it's something that I can grab and be eating while I keep working, I find that I at least get it in. So that's my next step right now, is making that consistent. And then it's going to be easy to level up next. But yeah, that's my general layout for the box. And then what sky's the limit after that, whatever I like.
I love that. And you make it look so good. So Trish, did you have any questions?
No, I'm just listening. I mean, I think for me personally, you know how my schedule is. I'm either home consistently, or then when I'm working, you know, well, at least on a set, we have access to whatever food is there. I mean, there's always everything from healthy stuff to processed, you know, or just goodies that they have out for us. And that's the hardest part, is making the right choices,
Yeah.
but so rarely, this is all a great idea, but rarely would I pack a lunch like this. You know what I mean? I'm not in an office.
Yeah, you're moving around a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm home, if I have I have the stuff here. So like I'm eating carrots right now.
Love it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and again, it goes back to, like when you know certain things, when you know better, you can do better. So like just even
Yeah.
having this knowledge and then you go and you see the buffet at work, like you can then, have the power to choose like which options you want.
Which isn't always easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm tired.
Right. I mean, if they have fruits and vegetables, just eat those first. And
Yes.
then you're going to have less of the, I want that sweet thing. And so you'll
Yeah.
have a couple bites of it instead of maybe just one of those,
That's so true. I love that you brought that up, Joelle. That's something I've talked to clients who are working on like managing their blood sugar.
Yep.
Eating vegetables first and like eating fibrous things, that actually is really beneficial. Because then if you're eating a sweet or like a carb afterwards, it's kind of a buffer to that, like a huge drastic blood sugar spike, which is gonna boost your energy, but then it's going to tank also. So you kind of feel like
and there's other negative side effects, obviously, if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, where you can't risk the boost.
right,
But
the roller
yeah,
coaster.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of building off of, what we've been talking about here, I wanted to show this to everyone. I like sharing this healthy plate. And of course, this is like ideal scenario, your plates do not need to look like this. But again, just something to think about, like, so if you're looking at the left side of your plate, you have almost like half of it is fruits and vegetables. Then they add in this little piece in the bottom left, digestives, which is like fermented foods. And so there's examples here like kombucha, kefir, kimchi. Digestive aids like that are awesome to eat, either, like with your vegetables or, on top of your protein, that type of thing, because it's adding probiotics into your system, and probiotics is good gut bacteria. So you don't have to be taking necessarily a probiotic supplement if you are eating fermented foods like fairly often. So that's something I like to point out there. And then, of course, a healthy fat, that's also nice to have. And those would include avocado, nuts and seeds, even fatty fishes, fatty fish. Yeah. And then the top right, that's like a quarter of your plate. Put in like grains, starches, carbs, fibrous things, sweet potatoes, squash, all of that. You can put that up there. And then the bottom right is adding in protein. So essentially you're having like half fruits and vegetables, and then the other half of your plate is a combo of carb and protein, kind of like your snack pack, what you were saying. Yeah. So just wanted to point that out. And then the other thing I wanted to share today too, just another tip. The handy thing about like when we're on the go and eating, everyone's body is proportionate to what you need. So if you look at your hand, look at the palm of your hand, that's like the size of protein that is going to best serve you. So my hand compared to like my dad's hand or my brother's hand, like their hands are much bigger than mine. So they would have a bigger protein portion here.
Cool.
Yeah, same with like the fist size here for your vegetables. And then we have the little cup handful for carbs, and then you look at your thumb for healthy fats. So this is also just a good guideline to go. I mean, you always have your hands with you, and so if you're kind of trying to measure things out, but not in a restrictive way, this can be handy too. And if this is under nutrition report that I can put together for you. So I do it with my clients. If it's something that you're into, you get your info here, your activity level, you tell me like what type of eating style you like. And then we have this breakdown here. And then there's also like some recipes and things. So yeah, if anyone wants this, I'd be happy to put one together for you as well.
Awesome.
Yes. All right. So anything else anyone wants to add or ask before we move on to mindfulness?
No, I think I've said a lot. So
Okay, yeah.
I could talk about this for days, but no, I think that's a good chunk there.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it bite-sized.
Right.
Okay, so moving on to mindfulness. We touched on this last week, and essentially, just to recap, mindfulness is being fully present and aware of where we are and what we're doing and not being overly reactive or overwhelmed or judgmental of like what is happening. And of course, easier said than done. But that's why we have tools that help us be mindful, whether it's following your breath or listening to a guided meditation. So I have a quick couple minute meditation that I wanted to share with you guys, just so we can all kind of tap in and experience some mindfulness right now. So I'm going to share my screen again. And Joelle, give me a thumbs up if you can hear this.
What you do today is important because you are exchanging a day of your life for it. We all make choices in life, but in the end, we are the culmination of all the choices that we make. This is a 3-part guided meditation focusing on gratitude, visualization, and next steps towards your goals. What are you grateful for? I'm grateful for all the people in my life, all the wonderful friends and family. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for the opportunities I have. What are you grateful for? Think of at least 3 things you are grateful for. Now take a minute to visualize one thing that you want today. It could be a dream you have. It could be an interaction with somebody. It could be a thing you want. Pick one and visualize it. See yourself being grateful that it has already come true. Focus on it, feel it, smell it, hear it, taste it. Visualize it in every detail, in the most vivid way possible, as if you are living that life right now. Feel it, be it. This is your life. Don't be the person they think you are. Be the person you know you are. Now, what is one thing that you can do right now to help you move closer to that goal? What is one tiny step you can do as soon as this recording is over? You have 1 minute. Okay, got it? If not, pause this recording until you do. Remember, more is lost by indecision than wrong decision. Now go and do that one thing that will move you toward the direction of your dreams, and come back anytime to get your next step. And know this to be true. A year from now, you will wish you had started today.
That was good.
Yeah, it's a
think
nice
that last quote is my new mantra. More is lost from indecision than wrong decision. That
Yeah.
hits.
Yeah. I know, I liked it. And I think the tip too of just thinking one thing, you know, once you visualize like what your big picture goal is or your dream that you're working towards, but then just picking one action that you can do today that really like just makes it that much more tangible.
Well, and it roller coasters, snowballs in the right direction is what I like to say. Like I'm doing a lot of things right now with ADHD and figuring out the way to be the most productive without feeling like I'm quieting that part of myself entirely. Like I don't like medication. There's more downsides than there is good. But that for me, sometimes I'll put things, for instance, example, that'll be easier. I'll put something on my to-do list that I know I'm going to get done. Something that, let's say yesterday, the whole week, I've been so good at 2 quarts of water. Okay, like I'm just going to put that on tomorrow's to-do list so that I know I can check it off. Or I've been nailing meditation, so I'm going to put it on tomorrow so that almost immediately I know I'm going to wake up and meditate. Check off. And now I'm crushing the day, you know? So you feel good, you get that little boost, and you're like, I can do more. I can do this, you know, I can level this up. Really cool.
Totally. That reminds me of like when people talk about make your bed, get like a win
Yes,
or
that's
start your
yes.
day with success. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perfect
I
example.
love that. Yeah. And I think too, this meditation is like a great example of, you know, how you can, you know, bring mindfulness into your day, like getting present with where you are right now in life, you know, picturing where you want to be in the future. When we do gratitude beforehand, that really like helps, like just helps our brain be expansive and, you know, not be so limited to like, because we're kind of opening up our hearts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So I like that. And yeah, if anyone is looking for a guided meditation, seriously, Insight Timer, that website that I use, it's an app as well.
Okay.
It's free and it's amazing. Like you can put in like whatever amount of minutes you want. You can type in things like sleep or anxiety or stress or even probably ADHD. Like they'll have like talks, guided meditations, all the stuff in there. So
That's awesome.
yeah, really great resource. All right. So we want to move on to exercise.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so it's actually kind of perfect today. I think that last time we flowed really well, that things lined up. The 3 pillars, they still like had some gray in between them in the best way. And I'm just going to continue on that train. After we moved last time, it was in the afternoon, our last episode. So everybody was like that midday slump, right? And so we finished up by getting up and moving. And afterwards, we all felt like, wow, it just kind of like pushed what we felt about the learning and the things that we were connecting about on this next level of accomplishment, right? Because we were moving our bodies and for no other reason than to move a little bit. Raina calls them exercise snacks. I say movement breaks. Sometimes I mix them all up together too. But there is more benefits than just the physical when we move our physical body. And we know that, right? We know that it can help with anxiety, it can help with depression, with all the sorts of things. So it can help with you just feeling like you can conquer the world, feeling like you can take on your tasks, which gives you the ability to do so, right? Because we know the mind is a powerful thing. But that doesn't mean that we always remember this and practice. When was the last time you went to go exercise and you were like, I'm going to do this for my body and my mind? I'm going to do this for my mental health, and I don't even care what it does for the physical. Like, that's just not how we approach exercise, which kind of gives it that more chore vibe until you really get into it and feel the benefits, and then it's easier to get going. But if you're just starting out and it's a struggle to make yourself exercise, I think doing these types of little breaks, little snacks in your day with a different purpose in mind can totally change the game. So again, ADHD, right now I'm focusing on productivity, and there's this technique called the Pomodoro, and it's which means tomato in Italian. And it's but essentially, instead of saying I'm going to set a timer for 30 minutes and work, you say I'm going to set a 25-minute timer, and then you must take a 5-minute break afterwards. So, and that's one Pomodoro. So right now, like, that's my thing, is I have to have that 5-minute break. Sometimes they say, like, if you're on a roll at 25 minutes, hit it for another 25 and then take a 10-minute break. Well, if I do a couple of these in a row, even if I'm getting that dopamine because I'm able to stay on task, and that's hard for me for long periods of time. And 25 minutes can be a long time to stay on one task. So I'm like, well, I need to take that movement break though, because after two hours or so, my body feels like it becomes stagnant, and it does something to my brain. There's like this fog that goes over. And so to get up and go move, not because my physical body needs some results, I want to lose weight or I want to look a certain way, but because my brain needs that break, that's the easiest way. It's almost like it's a grounding exercise for your physical body, and it helps the brain recenter. So I just go out, I'm like, okay, like even a 10-minute, I have a warm-up rides on my app. So they're not even intended for you to break a sweat. They're just getting your body moving. That's perfect. A 5-minute stretch, a 10-minute meditation, but sitting up and being energetic. Oh man, all of these make such a big difference. So I want everybody to try that. Everybody that's watching this recording, like, think about the last time you got up and did a little stretch, like your dog or cat does every time they get up, right? They stretch, they move their body and like feel what needs more work, or then they take more stretches. It's intuitive, and we've lost that part. So I think those movement breaks, the exercise snacks, again, just like the snack packs, find a way that it makes you light up. If you're like, oh, I don't even want to be in the gym setting, my movement break, I need to be in the sun, and I'm just going to walk slowly, chilling in the sun right now. And I'm not going to make it a thing about exercise, but it's going to work that way for my mental health. And if you feel good about yourself mentally, your body will follow. It will. And you'll be shocked that, oh, I'm just moving a little bit more throughout my day, not making it a thing. And my body, my physical body, is also responding. That's magic. That's the alignment. And that's what we're looking for sure.
I love that. So are we doing a 5-minute movement break?
Shall we?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Can you show us? Like, what do you do for like one of your movement breaks?
So it really just depends on what I've done so far. Actually, I was thinking about this while we were doing the mindfulness. Now I just remembered something that you can do to ground yourself and to take yourself out of whatever scenario or mental train you're on is I like to go make some tea. So I turn on the water, put on my headphones, and turn on a song from high school. Okay. Doesn't matter what song it is, but it has to be like your high school era, because that's when you feel yourself like in a different place, right? Takes you to a different time in your life. And then I dance it out until the tea is brewed. So we won't do that because I feel like that's a very personal thing. But I did think about that with the grounding. If you're like, man, I would love to meditate, but even 5 minutes of a guided something feels like a struggle for me. Like, I'm going to the grocery list. I mean, when I first started meditating, that's how I felt. I told my girlfriend this, it is amazing. I see the value, but it's not for me. And it's because I didn't think that I could allow myself to relax and center that deep. And meditation isn't perfect, but anyways, so that's something that I would say is like level half meditation, grounding, mindfulness, is get yourself into a different place and have a little ritual for it. Yes, the neat. This is like another one of the all of the things that you do physically are above what your body needs to sustain itself, above your BMR, right? So if you work a desk job, you might not have very much neat. You got to get up and have your movement breaks. But these things all count and they add to your body's overall well-being, right? Walking the dog, pacing on the phone. Yeah, next time you're on the phone, stand up. Cleaning the house, dancing in the shower. Like I said, make your tea and dance it out. So good. An hour of exercise is just 4% of your day, but neat can make up 63% of your day, which is the rest. So we have to be unbiased and not judgy on ourselves when we say, how often do I move? Even if I exercise for an hour a day, but I sit for the rest of it, could I find a reason to take a little exercise break, little snack? Could I find a reason to walk around the block before I sit back down for my meal or for my next section of work or whatever?
Yep.
Raina, that was awesome.
I was like, it goes on par with what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree. So just like make it doable, make it easy, make it something you enjoy, you know? And I've started doing this in some of my meetings of just like telling people, hey, let's get up and do like 30 squats.
Yes, move it around.
Yeah.
Yes, it makes all the difference. I have another like quickie is I just have a timer that's 20 seconds. So it just makes some noise every 20 seconds, right? And then I'll just get up and do kind of alternating something a little bit cardio-esque and then a little bit more mobility. Do you want to do something for just a few minutes?
Yeah, let's do something for a few minutes since we've been
cool.
sitting for 30.
Cool. Yeah. All right, so get up, find your space if you need. That'll work. Yay! And I have, let's see if it will be. There we go.
I have Kenny here who wants to move also.
Right? Well, maybe it's not going to. How rude. Okay, so my phone says no, or my. Hey, can you hear the music? No?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get. Okay, go.
It's kind of faint, but yeah. There we go. That's good.
All right, we're gonna start with jumping jacks or stepping jacks.
Okay. Come on.
All right, next we'll do rainbow knees. Just make a big rainbow with your knees. Open up those hips. Yes. Snap, crackle, pop over here. Squat neck. All right, next we're gonna reach to the side like a half crescent. Step behind, reach over. Step out, step behind, reach over. One more time from the top. Jumping jacks. Do good. Rainbow knees. I feel good when I push, 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 push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push, 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 push. Squat. Preach.
Push, I feel good. I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. I feel good. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push, 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 push.
And rest.
Oh, that felt so good. Thank
Right?
you.
And it was like just short of one song, right? 3 minutes, done. Nothing absolutely crazy, but like enough to make you feel like, oh, I haven't been sitting for the last hour, you know?
That was only 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So good. I forgot to mention to everyone new tuning in, Joelle and I know each other. We met in boot camp class. Joelle was the instructor for boot camp at a gym I used to go to. So that's how we connected many years ago back in Alaska.
Right, 7 or 8 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it was a
Wild.
while ago. I'm sorry about the dog.
So cute.
All right. Well, I think he's telling me it's time for a walk.
He said movement break.
Yes, another movement break. So I think this wraps up our healthy happy hour.
Yes.
Does anyone have any questions? I'm gonna mute.
He wants attention.
Right. So cute. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming, Trish. We so appreciate having you on. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Trish. I hope this was good and you learned something new.
I love, you know what, Joelle, what you were talking about specifically about the ADD or ADHD and getting up or timing yourself is helpful.
Good. Look that up, the Pomodoro technique. And I actually, that's my next video series, or my first one actually, is going to be the Pomodoro technique and how I've made it work for me and feel like I'm still feeding that creative wild part of my ADHD, not quieting it, but like harnessing it.
Yeah, it's because, especially as I was saying earlier, when I'm home and I try to focus, if I take a break, I go into the next room. Of course, I start something else, and and it just continues. So, and you know, if you have ADD, that the opposite occurs as well, where you'll hyper focus.
Yep. And usually not, well, for me, not always on the right thing.
Yeah. Depends on what it is, but yeah, anything to outsmart it is helpful.
Yes, love that.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, Trish.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, girls.
Bye.